Now let's look at putting some lighting fixtures in. So we'll start with the acoustical ceiling tile system, and we'll put a trofer light in, and then we'll put some recessed cans in our other fixtures. So the first thing we need to do is load those fixtures in. So I'm going to go to Insert and Load from the Autodesk Cloud family. And I've already been fuddling around in here, so let's go back to where we would navigate from, where everything is showing, and we'll go down to Lighting. And we'll grab a downlight, a recessed can. Let's go to the architecture. Let's just make sure we're using architectural components. And download spotlight. Let's just use a download recessed can. We'll load that. And also, I don't know why we click out of this, but I also want what we call a trofer light, which is a light that fits in a acoustical suspended ceiling grid system. We have 2x4 and 2x2 to pick from, and we want the 2x2 to match our grid system. So we'll go ahead and load that. And then we'll go to the mezzanine level, and we'll find out actually that our mezzanine or our aisle grid system isn't showing. And I believe that is because we don't have it, it's in a position that's just too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lower this down to, well, it's 13 feet. Let's kind of remember that. I'm going to move it down to 8 feet. And let's see if that shows up in the mezzanine level. And now we just need to move that back. I've just pulled it in down low enough so that we have it in the view. And now we're ready to place our trofer lighting fixture. So I'm going to go to Architecture Component, place a component, and we'll go ahead and place our first fixture. And I'll just place it a little randomly because it seems the best way to do this is to select it and then move it to position. And come into the corner there and then try to get it right to that corner. And so once we've lined up the first one, we're really set for all the rest because we're just going to copy in multiples. And so we're just going to move it. And I'll move it in increments of, let's say, 12 feet. I can never, yeah. And we'll leave that there. Okay, so that's our placement of our trofer light. Now let's put some cans in. A can is kind of a way we refer to these recessed lights that look like almost a coffee can was sunk in through the ceiling with a little bit of trim on it. So we'll grab the component, place component, and we'll grab a can and downlight recessed can. And it's indicating that we're placing it, so it's seeing that surface. So we'll go ahead and place a couple of those there, and we'll place a couple in this other surface. And these are actually a little close to that other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move them over here. And then let's grab these 4 lights and just mirror them so we have symmetry. And let's take a look at our 3D view to make sure they're set right. And it appears they are. So the last thing we need to do is to place these over our, kind of like our meeting area here. So once again, I think we're in the mode here to, oops, nope. Place component. Let's see if we can get this close to the center. And I'll place one over here. And then to make sure that that is symmetrical, I'll mirror that over the center line of this wall. And we'll go back to our 3D view. And there's our fixtures placed. Let's take one more view of this. I don't know why our floor system's missing here. Oh, that's because we took that view out of the mezzanine view, and it may not have that in the scope. So I'm going to go to the mezzanine level. We're going to make another view here. These are views you can throw out once we've gone. This is just to demonstrate things. So grab a camera view, and we'll just try to take a shot down the alley here so we can see all of our lighting fixtures. And we can see we still have this panel is too low, so we got to move this back up to 13 feet. Let me try to get this 1.3. And now let's render this in a realistic mode. And in order to get the lights on, I'm going to go to graphic display options and go to lighting and just turn on the interior artificial only. I'll hit apply with that. And now that's working really nicely, so we can actually see the light striking the surfaces and hitting the floor here. And so we're all set. So I don't know why the exterior windows are still bright. Maybe it's just because of the time of day, but it's not using that on the interior of it. So that's our first introduction to placing our lighting fixtures in these kind of ceiling systems. They could be ceiling systems that go wall to wall also, but this is just a way to kind of advance your ability to model these. I don't know if this is showing, I don't know if I've done this before, but I raised this back wall up a little bit just to kind of like enclose that ceiling system. So that concludes our ceiling lighting.